Let's queer up the USA View. After California Library kicks out transphobic group, they get threatened with a bombing. Watch this.
I will give you one warning on that.
It was a packed room at the Mary L. Stevens Library on Sunday when the group Moms for Liberty Yolo County held their meeting.
Losing our rights to privacy, dignity, and safe sports.
A mom of two, Allie Schneider, was at the meeting and was in line to speak. The group called the meeting a fair and safe sports for girls, alongside a discussion about transgender students participating in sports.
Physical damage being done right now to girls and women who are forced to share their single-sex spaces with men and boys who call themselves women.
But within 10 minutes, Schneider says library staff kicked them out.
I'm asking you to leave.
Got completely drowned out and shoved out by the library official.
The group continued at a nearby park, but Schneider says she believes the library violated their rights to free speech.
It seems like they continue to put up roadblocks to keep us from, again, exercising our First Amendment rights.
Then on Monday afternoon, Davis Police and the Yolo County Sheriff's Office got a tip about a potential bomb threat at the same library.
It made a specific statement saying that the library was going to blow up at 3 p.m. And it made some type of a derogatory term towards the LGBTQ community.
About 10 library employees were evacuated as law enforcement searched the building.
And no explosives were located.
We asked the sheriff's office if there is any possibility the bomb threat and the Moms for Liberty meeting were linked.
We don't know if there's any link to it at this time.
For Schneider, she says she has no idea who's behind the bomb threat and tells us she does not support that type of response. However, she does have a stern message for county officials.
We all have a First Amendment right, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of belief.
A caller used anti-LGBTQ+ hate speech to issue a bomb threat against the library in Davis, California, near Sacramento. This forced the Mary L. Stevens Library and a nearby elementary school to evacuate. The threat came the day after a right-wing group tried to have an event at the library that didn't go as expected. On Sunday, the Yolo County chapter of Moms for Liberty, an anti-civil rights group, held an event attacking transgender athletes' inclusion in sports. As the event progressed, audience complaints prompted library staff to warn speakers that misgendering athletes violates the library's code of conduct. Library staff member Scott Love interjected and asked speakers to be respectful, or if they continue misgendering trans athletes, be asked to leave. Love explained that in California, under state law, transgender women are recognized as women. Sophia Laurie, a former college soccer player at Vanguard University, who was speaking at the event, continued her speech anyway and was soon joined by far-right anti-trans activist Aaron Friday. The event eventually came to a halt. In the evening, one conservative activist, Jonathan Zackerson, posted his account of the event on Twitter. Soon the anti-trans activist Riley Gaines shared the post demanding the name and phone number of the librarian. The next day, before 3 p.m., police issued an alert in response to the bomb threat after several right-wing publications and blogs published articles on the incident.
Let's queer up business. Queer-owned Vampire Cosmetics cancels collaboration with Alice Cooper after anti-trans remarks. Alice Cooper's new makeup products, released in collaboration with Vampire Cosmetics, have been dropped from the cosmetics brand's website in light of the rock singer's recent anti-trans comments. In an interview published by Stereogum earlier this week, Cooper shared his opinions about best practice medical care for transgender youth, saying that he was, quote, afraid that it's also a fad, end quote. Using common anti-trans talking points to elaborate, he said he feels children are not mature enough to make decisions about their gender identity. He also shared anti-trans rhetoric about access to public bathrooms, claiming that allowing transgender people to use the bathroom that corresponds with their gender identity could lead to violent crimes.
Let's begin by queering up politics. Hamburger Mary's drag debate to discuss the most ridiculous Republican candidate for president. Ron DeSantis tried to silence drag queens. Yesterday, they were speaking out against him at the biggest event of his struggling campaign. The first primary debate between Republican candidates for president was on Wednesday. While the candidates, including Florida's governor, met in Wisconsin, Wilton Manors became home of the resistance. Hamburger Mary's with Disney Defenders presented drag queens like Christine Christie, Donna Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Michelle Pence, who took the stage at Mary's and debated which candidate is the most ridiculous. It was a tough challenge. While all the Republican candidates on the stage promoted their bona fides on restricting women's health and punching down on the LGBTQ+ community, especially LGBTQ+ youth, one candidate drew the ire of the drag queens more than most: DeSantis. He's the one that got the ball rolling on drag queens. Last year, he used a regulatory body to intimidate venues into not booking drag entertainment. This year, the legislature put in place a very restrictive law on live drag, which has since been put on hold by a judge. Last night, the very entertainers he targeted were ready to lambaste him. Hey everybody, John Hayden from out South Florida, and we are at the drag debate where all the GOP candidates just got dragged before their first Hunger Games style debate. And I'm going to let the candidates introduce themselves.
I am Rhonda Santos.
I am Michelle Pence.
I am Christine Christie.
And I am Donald Trump.
Okay, so there were two questions that we needed to answer, and I will ask the first one. Who is the most dangerous candidate on the debate stage tonight?
Has to be Ron.
It has to be Ron.
It has to be Ron. Ron DeSantis.
For real Floridian, you understand.
All across the board.
Okay, why is he dangerous?
Well, first off, we are all drag entertainers here. Ron is dangerous because he is threatening drag queens. He's threatening our existence, he's threatening our job, and he's threatening our ability to be who we are. That's very dangerous.
Why is Donald Trump dangerous?
Because he just don't let you be you. He's blocking trans. It's in every community, from in school, from teachers, from kids to adults. You just can't be yourself anymore. That's the problem.
The second one is, who is the most ridiculous candidate? Now you've got Donald Trump, who has orange skin and very tiny hands, and you've got Ron DeSantis, who lives under a rock, but in fairness, it's the same rock that most of the GOP lives under.
This is true.
So who is the most ridiculous?
I go for put fingers. Put fingers. That's Ron.
Ron.
I still go for Ron.
Ron. I say both but Ron.
Ron, you can go to hell.
Okay, so the vote is unanimous. It's Ron DeSantis, and let's make the vote unanimous that he's not going to get elected. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. All right, nice job tonight.
Likewise.
Let's queer up gay culture. Whoopi Goldberg comes out on podcast to make her point.
Speaking of love and like staying out of people's business, I want to just dig into your business a little bit. Sometimes you give me lesbian vibes. You give me like stud vibes.
I think this is a secret fantasy of Raven. I think she just wants everyone to be gay, and she's just really hoping you're going to come out right here, right now. So
women have been asking me this for as long as I've been around. It's like, what do you care who I love?
Whoopi Goldberg, a longtime ally of the LGBTQ+ community, came out as straight during an interview on Raven Simone and Miranda Pierman's podcast, The Best Podcast Ever with Raven and Miranda. During the interview, Simone, Goldberg's former co-host on The View, asked the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony award-winning actress about her sexual orientation. Goldberg responded, quote, "I am not a lesbian, but I know lots of them, and I've played them on television. I have always had lesbian friends because they're just my friends," end quote. Like many LGBTQ+ supportive actors faced with similar inquiries, Goldberg used the opportunity to share a wider message of acceptance and tolerance. On the topics of drag bans and gay marriage, Goldberg said that nobody is forcing people to go and participate in either activity. If they like it, they can go. Goldberg has previously portrayed lesbian or same-gender loving characters most notably in the movies The Color Purple and Boys on the Side. While Goldberg's exchange with Simone was a conversation between friends and former colleagues, Abbott Elementary actor Tyler James Williams shared a post on his Instagram story a couple of months ago, pointing out the danger of questions like Simone's. He said, quote, "The culture of trying to find some kind of hidden trait or behavior that a closeted person let slip is very dangerous," end quote.
Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ+ community and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ+ community.